back to my channel Luna Noir Tarot and this mini-series Teaching Tarot. So today we'll be covering the Chariot card, and as we're pretty far into the series, I think you guys have the gist of how this series works. For those of you who are new and this is the first video that you're watching, I would recommend that you go back into the series. It's under my playlist Teaching Tarot, and have a look at the other videos. This does run in chronological order, so it will be going through each card in the tarot deck. We're starting with the major arcana, and we have gone through the other cards before this video, so it's definitely worth checking out the other videos first, just so that you can follow the chronology and so you can understand the foundations of tarot before you begin. If you're just curious about the Chariot card specifically, then just stay here. And if you've been following this series, then thanks for following, thanks for watching, and if you guys have any ideas on how I can improve this, I am always open to hearing them. Alright, so let's get straight into the Chariot card today. And before I do, I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all safe, and I hope you're enjoying the summer so far. I am super excited about the summer solstice this week, so I hope you guys are too, and you're just, doing really well. I had to check in on you guys. I appreciate you being here, and I just want to make sure that all of you are healthy and safe. All right, now the Chariot. So I'll be honest, the Chariot is, again, one of my favorite cards. I know you've probably heard me say this a couple of times, but I like different cards for different reasons, and I specifically like the Chariot card because of what it represents, okay? Every time I see this card, it fills me with joy. Now, as you know, I'm a big believer in illustrations and their value and their pictorial illustrative value, but also the symbolisms. So, as I've mentioned before in other videos, I don't believe that it's a coincidence that a lot of these cards have this imagery and these colors, and just generally they are depicted the way they are. Of course, every artist has their own artistic licensing or the freedom to basically create the image that they envision. But I do believe that every artist, no matter what deck you pick up, that each card is representative of its meaning, but through the artist's eyes. And that's why each card deck and each card is just so profound, and I just love seeing them all in their various forms. But ultimately, the cards do have general meanings, and we will touch on them a little bit later. But first, I am going to go straight into the illustrations, because this is something I like to focus on when I first draw a card. So, as you can see, we have the Chariot. So in this specific card, and this is the Rider-Waite deck, you can see that the Chariot is front facing, so we're looking at the Chariot rather than usually, when you're looking at a chariot or a horse-drawn carriage or any kind of chariot really that's being pulled by something, you usually see it from the side. So you see the wheels and you see someone sat inside it, and you'll either see, people carrying it or some form of animal pulling it along. So it's a different perspective that we're seeing here. Now, you do see a authority figure sat in this chariot, and of course that's very representative of chariots, in history, when they were actually used as a form of or mode of transport. It was usually those who were either wealthy, well-known, or had some authority or title behind them, like kings and princes and diplomats of sorts. So yeah, it's not surprising that this person is also kind of has an emperor vibe to him. And you can see that there's a lot of yellow. So remember that the yellow, and I've mentioned this before too, is connected to the solar plexus. But also, yellow is a color of creativity and inspiration, and very much to do with like kind of big picture, forward visions, visualization, to a degree law of attraction too. So I don't think it's an accident, I guess, that this has so much yellow coming out of it. It's also a golden yellow, so as you can see, this person is also wearing quite a bit of yellow, and I think that's representative of gold. So it's basically showing his authority, saying he is an important person. He's wearing the gold, he's wearing a crown, and just from his posture you can see he's a very confident person. There are some sphinxes in the front. Again, these are signs of power. And he has an emblem on his chariot. So again, you can see behind him there's a castle. So again, it's kind of depicting this whole like emperor, king, person of high power, high authority. So usually when you see these cards, the imagery within it kind of gives you a storyline. With this one, it's interesting because the chariot is all about movement, forward movement, and success and willpower. So the willpower and success kind of comes through this. I think the willpower can also be depicted through his confidence. He seems pretty determined to move forward. And of course, success you can see because he's dressed with success. You can see it through the way he is dressed, the way he stands, his persona. It comes through in that way. But chariots are obviously vehicles or things with wheels that move forward, but it doesn't necessarily depict the forward movement element of this card through this specific imagery. And again, that's because we're looking at it forward facing, and also it doesn't really look like it's moving because the sphinxes are just sat there. So it's interesting because usually when I see a card, I'm always very clear about what the card means. But with the chariot, it has different sorts of meanings to different people. And I think this one's one of those cards that can be interpreted very differently by different tarot readers. And, although all the cards are subjective because they are artwork and, art is subjective, it's still interesting that this one specifically, I feel, is more open to interpretation than possibly some of the other cards. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this, and also comment below if you feel that you are seeing something else through the imagery of this card than what I have already mentioned. Okay, so I did kind of allude to it just now, but ultimately, as I said, each card has its own general meanings, and for the chariot, it can mean the following. It can depict control, willpower, success, action, determination, movement, and faster results. So depending on what kind of reading you're doing, where you draw the chariot, of course, if it's a career reading, it's going to be more about being successful, having the control and willpower, which can also be known as confidence. You're taking action, you're determined, and it's saying that you will have movement in this specific vision of yours, right? So this is a great card to get specifically for your career, because I feel like those are very strong adjectives when it comes to your career. That's what you want to be. You want to be in control. You want to have willpower. You want to succeed. You want to take action. You want to be determined. You want to see forward movement, and you want faster results. And so this is so good, especially if it's career related, whether that's you going for that promotion, you looking for a new job, or you even becoming an entrepreneur. These are all really good adjectives that you want to hear as a sign of the universe telling you you're doing the right thing, of, hearing that resounding yes that we always want to hear, and giving you that confidence, just giving you that confirmation that, yeah, what you're doing is right. Keep going, keep moving in the same direction, because the way that you're going is actually going to serve you well in the future. It's going to create the results that you really, really want. So, of course, if you are a tarot reader who reads in the reverse, then you will also have other meanings for this card in the reverse. So in the reverse, this card means self-doubt, opposition, lack of direction, slow movement, and delays. So again, not really what you want to hear, especially if you're trying to move forward with your career. I personally am speaking about careers because I tend to find that this card comes out more for me when I'm doing a career reading. Of course, in love as well, it's a good card to have, because you want to have success, you want to see action, you want to be determined, especially if it's something that it's somebody that you feel is the one and you want to move forward. Maybe you are ready to get married or commit to a higher commitment, and for that reason, you want to see the Chariot, because you want to know that yes, there's going to be forward movement and there's going to be some sort of action that takes place. So yeah, this card can obviously really, because it has such open definitions, it can really relate to a lot of things. So that's the other great thing about the Chariot card. It's very diverse. So the Chariot card, its element is actually water. Its ruling planet is the moon. So again, this is all about intuition and your emotions. And it's really about finding that inner strength, I feel. So if you have that inner strength, control, willpower, success, action, determination, movement, and, faster results is going to come through because of that inner strength and that inner confidence that you have in yourself. So that is the Chariot card. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what your opinions of the Chariot card are, if you like this card, when you've seen this card before, and even if you're not a tarot reader and you're actually just watching these videos, not because you want to necessarily learn tarot because you want to start reading tarot. You might just be watching these videos because you've had tarot readings before, or you watch tarot readings on YouTube channels like mine, and you just want to know a little bit more about a specific card that was mentioned because it kind of stood out to you, right? So let me know in the comment box below if that's something that resonates with you, if this card has come up for you before, if you're willing to share, and where it's come up for you. And if you are learning tarot, then with the purpose of reading tarot, then also let me know what you think. Alright guys, I will catch you in the next video. The next card is the Strength card. So we will be moving in the direction of strength, and that video will be up next Friday. In the meantime, enjoy the summer solstice, enjoy the new moon eclipse that we have the next day. Guys, by the time this next video of strength comes out, we will need it because we will have some retrograde planets. But hey, everything has a cycle, and we've just got to ride it out. So until the next video, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you stay blessed, and I will catch you next one. Thanks for watching.